most of Patricia Highsmith's novels are about sort of the criminal mind, and this is her only novel that's not about the criminal mind. It's about the amorous mind, and what's interesting about that is that actually in the 50s, being a lesbian was considered criminality. And also, me and Todd were talking about this, which is kind of interesting, is that when you're falling in love with someone, your mind kind of works the way a criminal's mind would. You kind of are constantly thinking about different scenarios and different things that could go wrong, or different, betrayals that could happen, or getting caught doing this, or am I going to run into this person here? Your mind kind of works in that way. It just works in overtime, and it's constantly considering different scenarios that might happen, or things that might go wrong, or the other thing that's interesting about the novel is that it's the first and probably one of the only stories, especially of that time, about a lesbian relationship that doesn't end in death or one of the people becoming straight, or, it has kind of a happy ending, or at least an ambiguous ending, and that's really different for that subject. Well, Therese is just a really young girl who's kind of, in a lot of ways, she's kind of alone in the world. She doesn't really have a family, and she doesn't have that many friends, or she doesn't have that big of a community. She has Richard and their mutual friends and his family, but she's not that grounded. She doesn't have like a home base really, and she's kind of, she's like figuring out who she wants to be and what she wants her life to look like. And when she meets Carol, that's kind of not her model, but it's kind of like, I think it really opens her world and her mind to what she could be like, or what her life could be like, and opens the door for the kind of life that she wants to have. When we did the camera test for the movie, when I saw Cate in the full hair and makeup and wardrobe for the first time, that kind of says everything. I mean, who wouldn't be just blown away by her? She's just this like goddess, she's just this magnificent creature, and I think Therese has probably never really seen anyone like her before. It's been incredible. I mean, I've loved Cate since I was 13 years old when I saw her in Elizabeth, and it was really scary coming here knowing I was going to be working with her, because I've looked up to her for so long and idolized her and just think she's, beyond anything. And so I feel so lucky that I get to work with her and that I get to watch her and learn from her, and it's been really fun. Well, it's much different in the book than it is in the script, at least the way it plays out. I mean, I think the core of it is the same in both, but it's kind of that thing where when you're first with someone, you hate everyone they ever loved, and Abby is still very much a part of Carol's life. It's her best friend. It's like her sister in a way, and that's very threatening, and I think, she wants to hate Abby, but Abby doesn't really give her that chance, because she's, very kind to her and supportive in her own way, and it definitely is threatening, and it would definitely make me jealous. If the person I was falling in love with had that relationship with someone, that's hard. It was so much fun. It was so hard because we got along so well and we had so much fun together, just like right from meeting each other. And so it was so hard to have these like intense scenes with one another when we just wanted to, laugh. And, we had all these jokes even from rehearsal about the furniture store and about, about Abby and how she felt. And it was really great working with her. She's so fantastic. I didn't really know what to expect. Every rehearsal process is different on every movie. Some movies you really don't rehearse at all. And I met Todd for the first time, and we sat down and went through the script together. And then me and Cate and Todd would sit down together and go over our scenes, and then the same with Sarah. It wasn't really like full-on rehearsing. We just kind of talked through the scenes and what we thought should be in there, and what we thought the scenes were about, and what we thought, we needed to accomplish in the scene. It's one of my favorite parts. I love period films, and I've always wanted to be in one. I did a film that took place in the 70s, but that's not quite the same. And the costumes are the costumes and the hair and the sets, it's kind of everything. I mean, you can't really step into the world of the character until you kind of see what all that's about. Whenever I knew what my clothes were going to be like and what my hair was going to be like, that's really the thing that brings it all together for me anyway. I mean, it informs so much about your character, the way you look and the way you move, and, the clothes inform the way that you move, and Sandy's she's amazing. It's incredible to see. I remember the first day we were shooting in the park. It was meant to be Central Park, and there was so many extras, and it was kind of raining, and they had these beautiful umbrellas, and all the women had these sweet little hats on, and their pantyhose and their high heels, and it was freezing cold, and it's kind of incredible to think that women had to suffer through wearing these beautiful outfits no matter the weather. But then it was also, it just looked so beautiful, so it's kind of like, well, much more comfortable now, but people looked so much better back then. I mean, I can't imagine being in a relationship like that in the 50s. I think it's hard to be in a relationship like that now in many parts of the world. So I can't imagine the struggle that it must have been, and the strength and the courage it must have taken to be in a relationship like that in the 50s. When I first found out we were shooting here, I was like, how can we shoot in New York in the 50s in Cincinnati? It made no sense to me, but I can't imagine we'd be able to find these locations anywhere else. It's really been incredible, and it's also been really fun being here.